I guess all of you are right. All right, aside from comments about me loving burnt sienna in my coffee in the last video and every video since, there was a lot of comments in our last pigment video, which was very popular, about fear of pigments. And we also did a poll during the premiere of that video, and definitely that backed up my suspicions that people are avoiding pigments because of fear. So if you stop watching this video after this, it's fine. They are not scary. You do not need to worry about sealing them nearly as much as you think. Don't believe any fear-mongering you've seen on the internet about that. It's in my opinion, from people that don't like fun. This is fun, and it will make your mini look like it's grounded in the environment from its base. So we've already got the basing video for this mini. I'll make sure it's linked. You can take your mini, just, you know, random blue man. He has just stood on his base. Him and his base are separate things. He doesn't look like he's in that environment, which is painted like it's very dusty. He's somehow kept himself pristine throughout battle, walking, landing from a drop pot, whatever it is. Or, this one's painted with mini color, by the way, if you're curious why it looks so damn good. Look at that, I'm very pleased with him. Anyway, just the tiniest amount of pigments on the foot of this make him look like he is from the world that I have set him in. It is a narrative device in the painting of your minis that can't go wrong, that makes your mini look cooler and like he is from where your base is from. You don't always have to do this if you want showroom fresh, super shiny Space Marines cool, but having it as an option is amazing, and do not put it off for reasons that, in my opinion, aren't correct. And hopefully you believe my opinions. So we've got a wet application in this, which is specific. You can aim for the cracks, and we've got a little tip for helping your pigments kind of flow just into the recesses. That's wonderful. That's a specific application. And then we have a little tip on, you know, just general dry applications. One will make it look like there's dust in the recesses, and one will make all of your boot look dusty. You can take these as far up your mini as you like. It's up to you. And just playing like this will start you off on the journey of learning how to use pigments, which are super fun, super easy, and you don't need to worry about. If you don't want to paint highlights on your marine from the knee down, by the way, pigments are a really good way to be very efficient, army painters. It's chopping off a quarter of your model. Take those shortcuts where you can. If you have to paint 50 marines, absolutely do it. If you want to retain your edge highlights, our cleaning step at the end of the video, it'll not put them back, but it'll re-reveal them, so you don't even have to worry about covering up your nice sharp highlights or your good work or your battle damage or something like that. You are in control more than you think with pigments. If anyone actually has a nightmare story with pigments, pop it down below. I would love to read it. And I guess before we jump in, thank you so much for your engagement with the last one. What you leave underneath our videos is really, really useful, and we appreciate it. I appreciate it, and it helps us make better future videos. So if you have a suggestion or a question or a point or a horror story about pigments to prove me wrong, pop it down below, and I'll enjoy reading the horror story at the very least. Same pigment as we used before, because we can use the same one to increase the coherency between him and his base. If you're trying to suggest rust or something on the mini, of course it can be completely different from pigments you've got on his base, but that's got to be a conscious decision. So have a think about what you're using and why. Are you going for complementing or contrasting? We're complementing. We want exactly the same thing on the bottom that we do on him from like the knee down at least. So we're going to have a little talk about how you would apply that. There's two different ways you can apply it. You can do it wet or you can do it dry. A lot of questions were asked below our one on pigments about the fixing. You don't need to fix these unless you're going to pick your dude up like this. It's just not an issue for me. If you apply them with water, they're going to run into the recesses, then you can rub them off the raised areas. It looks realistic anyway. It's really hard unless you're going in there with a wet brush. You'd have to be actively trying to scoop these pigments out. So you don't need to seal. It's not a problem. We've got some stats from the last video we did on how many people think that these things are problems and they're not. Don't invent your issues, guys. There's far too many real issues with painting rather than adding more with inventing them. Trust me. So step one, I don't want to do it while he's on the base. I absolutely don't want this base to end up with a puddle around his feet of pigments or for something unnatural to appear there. So we're going to put him on a cork. Here's one I prepared earlier, and I'm actually going to leave him slightly floating. There we go. See, there's a little bit of a space below each of his feet. Set that to the side. And let's prepare our pigments. You're going to need a piece of paper here because this technique can get messy. It's messier than the other way we've used them previously. Okay, we have our paper. Let's talk about the two different ways that you can apply pigments in this situation, and I'll show you how they look as well. Now, I find it easier to put a small amount of the pigments in the lid and work from that. Set this to the side and don't sneeze around it, and definitely don't put it anywhere where you can knock it over, because these things are pretty potent. Right, a dry application. I would use a old brush, but you still probably want to use a straight one that points in the right direction. And we're just going to be using this kind of like a spade to pick up some pigments and deposit it around his feet. You can see they want to run away from my brush. They do want to be messy when they're dry. The way we'd use them in this situation though is very, very simple. He should have been dusted first. We're just going to brush them on and around his feet. I'm going to try and push them into recesses. So I might start out there and then use that like my well or my palette and spread it from there over the rest of his feet. It's going to make them really matte, and already these look a lot more like the color of that base than they did. It's worked out really well. I'll show you a wet application next. You can combine the two super easily. Probably you're going to do the wet one before you do the dry one, because doing it wet over the dry is going to ruin your initial dry one. Okay, dish. 1 drop of water. Now, first thing that we're going to do, 2 drops of water, is I'm going to wet this foot and I'm going to aim for the recesses. Or anywhere sheltered. It's up to you how far up you want to go. But anywhere where things could settle, I want to make sure we got some water in there. You can just paint the entire thing too. If you do that, you got to go away and wait for a bit. We can do an impatient version of that with a hairdryer, but we'd cause an awful mess. So we're going to go away and we're going to come back in 5 minutes or something. You want to come back or leave it until you've only got water in the recesses. Okay, you really won't need long if you hairdry it, so you can always apply it again. It's getting close. All right. Here is our foot. Now what should happen here is our little paste of pigments. Let me mix that up in the background. This is going to want to follow the areas that are already wet more readily. So I'm just going to dab it around. You can see it sticking to the areas that we've pre-wetted. Makes it very, very easy. You're forcing it to kind of go towards the right areas for you, and the right areas for the bits where things would collect. Bob it around, ultra simple, and then we're just going to go away. Leave it to dry. Extreme close-up continues. We've got 2 options for cotton buds or Q-tips. We've got normal ones that can be too absorbent, so be careful with these, don't make them too wet. Or you've got little kind of military ones. These are some Tamiya ones, they're more pointy, they're smaller. Either way, we're just going to dampen them, and then we'll use them to remove pigments off the raised areas. I'll use a normal one for now, because that's probably what people are more used to. So remove some water from it. Far too much as is. I don't want it to be really, really wet. Now looking better. Final test, just on the egg. I can remove some onto the cork, and then we're gonna buff his toes up. That's that. So anywhere that's raised is gonna get it picked up from, and you can go back and forth through this as much as you like. You can fix mistakes. That's that. Really easy. If you want, you can use the dry end to finish things off, but that's more likely to get fluff stuck somewhere. So I'd just leave it, hair dry it, or let it dry. We are done. You can reapply dry pigments on top of this to get that general all over dustiness while still having it concentrated in the recesses. Completely up to you. For me though, that's about perfect. So even though we've just done 1 foot, there we go. That guy is way more harmonized with his base. I could up the level of pigments on his base. Obviously, if he was standing on like mud or something, then he'd be tying exactly with it now. That's it. So we've got no pigments working their way up the base first, and then we have slightly more pigments coming up, and then the final one, the big one, is more pigments on the base and more pigments on the figure, therefore tighter, or the tightest coherency between the mini and its base.